The war that Russia is waging on Ukraine has brought tragedy to one country, Ukraine. Thousands and thousands of deaths, complete destruction of many cities, destroyed economy, you name it. It's a tragedy. Um, Russia has suffered also. Russia's suffering, in my opinion, will last a lot longer, perhaps for generations, and there's definite losers. There are definite losers in Russia suffering from this war. The biggest loser, again, in my opinion, is Vladimir Putin himself. He committed a harakiri, a suicide, when he made the decision to attack Ukraine. He's a dead man walking, either politically or literally, and he initiated his either real or political death on that day, on the 24th. Another big loser is the Russian elites, the class of uber-rich Russians. Who have been, they've been benefiting from Putin's regime for the past 23 years, and they have lost a lot, and some of them have lost everything. And the question I've been asked many times is, when? When will they take revenge on Putin? When will they move to change things back to normal? When will they rebel to dethrone the Tsar? And in the stream, I'll try to answer this question. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin, and welcome to Inside Russia, where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. What you will not find on this channel is propaganda, BS, and lies. What you will find is truth, common sense, and logic, and some emotions, because I'm a human being. In the first 30 minutes or so, I will give you the message of today. I will talk of the elites and their current place in Russia and their relationship with Vladimir Putin. So I find it pretty important. So without further ado, let's jump right into this discussion. Folks, I've been asked many questions, but out of all of them, so many times one question. I also have heard other people discussing about it many times, and the question is actually like a lifesaver. It's scary to think of all atrocities that this war has brought to Ukraine and to Russia. And then when you think, well, the elites are going to do something soon because they've got to fix things for themselves, And when you think, it's like a lifesaver. It kind of gives you hope, Because when you don't have anything to hang on to, the smallest, tiniest little thing, and you try to hang with your teeth on that, okay? And that's what it is. And first things first, who are the elites today? Plain and simple, they're rich. Russia's rich. In the 90s, the elites were considered just uber-rich Russians, the oligarchs. They ruled throughout the 90s. And a couple days ago, I made a stream called The Rise and Fall of Russian Oligarchs, where I explained how Russian oligarchs actually rose to power, and then Vladimir Putin stripped them of power later. And the link will be in the description, so check it out if you haven't watched it. So in the 90s, the elites were the uber-rich, different groups, But in the 2000s, the new elites were born. The higher-ups of Putin's vertical of power, or the heads of the new elite clans. Those who had possession of the right to use violence against people. All siloviki, those are in power. The heads of KGB, police, National Reserves, Rosguardia, prosecutor's office, you name them. That kind of people. Them, along with hundreds of people around them, assisting them, helping them, setting up companies for them, managing their money, managing their assets, and so forth. all who have enriched themselves with help of Russian taxpayers, okay, that have been the new elites. And the old money elites and the new power elites have coexisted. At first, they coexisted peacefully, fairly peacefully, but every year, year by year, the old elites lost more and more influence to the new elites. Not necessarily money. Some old oligarchs got even more richer, got richer over the years. But the key point here is, despite all their money, they got under control of Siloviki, the new elites, who had real power, violence at the tips of their fingers, ability to use that violence at will. That's what started to matter in Russia. What do I mean? Well, let me give you an example. Let's say you are an attorney general's prosecutor office. You work and you are one of the managers, big offices there. You take a very rich person, identify his companies, identify how he has made his money, identify all the assets that belong to him. And around the rich person, there's usually a small empire, That's how it works. So, you take person like that, and you simply open groundless criminal investigation against person like that. You freeze bank accounts temporarily, of course. You put liens on all properties, not temporarily for the time of the investigation, and you start an unfair, groundless war against a person. You arrest the managers, you arrest the person, perhaps family members. You can do that easily if you are high-ranked Silovik, okay? Just because you can. You wage the war until the person is either in prison and you just pick apart what's left after him, or he comes to you and offers to make a deal. Say, transfer you a part of his company or give you some money in return for protection, perhaps in assisting of future growth of market share. Let's say getting rid of competition in Siloviki kind of way, In Russia, it's called a hostile takeover. Was called a hostile takeover. I'm not sure about now after the war started. I think there are no more independent business people are left for the hostile takeovers. Well, I hope you understand who the new elites are and how they work. So, them people were feeling real good for years, They had power in Russia. They were it in Russia. They had, again, the right to execute violence at the tips of their fingers. Power was bringing them lots of money. They kept their money overseas. Of course, you can't keep money in Russia because once you're out of power, you are up for the grabs of the others who come in your place. That's how it works in Russia. So you make the money and you transfer it outside Russia and hide it into trusts. You buy property in the United States, you set up companies. There are plenty of ways, there are plenty of assistants who know real well, financial analysts and the likes, who know real well how to do that. So that's what they did. They kept money overseas. Again, they weren't stupid enough to keep their money, and they kept their families. The families lived overseas in the Western countries, of course, and life was perfect. They lived in their families. They called it in Russia. They used to call it the second base. Russia was the first base where they worked and made money, but the second base was in a safe haven, like the United States, the UK, France, Italy. Sometimes Dubai, I bet their wish was for all of that to continue for as long as possible. because their lives were really perfect. And then February 2022 came. Vladimir Putin makes a decision to start an unjust war against Ukraine. And I bet as soon as they heard, all these people and the elites, they heard that decision was made. And the first thing we all learned in the morning was that Russian missiles were flying, hitting Ukrainian targets. I think that after they learned, they understood immediately what happened. And I think they all screamed one thing, fudge! And I don't, that wasn't fudge, of course, it was something else. The sanctions followed instantly. Next day, basically. Personal sanctions, corporate sanctions, assets freezing, inability to travel, kids being kicked out of the best colleges, and, sent from deported or simply sent from foreign countries back to Russia. Their yachts confiscated. They, couldn't dock their yachts anymore. Basically, by invading Ukraine, Putin literally destroyed their lives. One day, picture perfect. The next day, nightmare. One day living in opulence in London, in Miami, in New York, and Côte d'Azur, and being respected members of their second bases, the new home countries, speaking to the powerful in France, in the USA, in the UK. And overnight, they lost everything. They lost their status, they lost their money was frozen, and they became outcasts, and they were basically kicked out. Well, Putin actually understood the situation, and he offered them something else. In return, money. The elites in Russia have become even richer in the last 18 months. For one simple reason. Under patronage of Vladimir Putin, they've been profiteering for the war. They were given an opportunity to profiteer from the war. Because military-industrial complex in Russia mostly belong to them. And there are many other ways in Russia to how the government can help someone financially. Just look at the fresh example, Yevgeny Prigozhin. He had tons of government contracts for catering for the armed forces, the kindergartens, the schools. They were bringing billions and billions of rubles. Putin himself stated that some ridiculous amount of money, like 80-something billion rubles, were spent on Yevgeny Prigozhin companies over just the last 18 months, And that's just an example, so you understand. That's how Putin rewards his loyal ones. So basically, that's Putin's carrot, But Putin also has sticks too, plenty of sticks. And to be precise, his sticks, he has many assistants with the sticks. Long and short sticks. The biggest stick is fear. Basically, the message that Putin sends to the ones who surround him, the new elites, is this: live in my world and follow my rules. Yes, you have lost some, and you started living on isolated island that Russia is these days, instead of the big world, and you're limited in many ways. But that's the way it is now. You are either in or you are out, and you don't want to be out. If you agree, come aboard. If you disagree, you'll be taken care of. And there are examples. People were literally taken care of. I'll give you a few names. Anna Politkovskaya, Boris Nemtsov, Andrei Litvinenko, Alexei Navalny, and the latest victim, of course, Yevgeny Prigozhin. The elites know that Putin means business. At least he meant business in the past. And they also know that they are in prison. The thing is, if you can run away, that you don't fear, right? If you start seeing clouds above your head thickening, then you just run away. But no, the new normal for the Russian elites. They cannot run. Most likely, there will be some kind of prosecution in the places where they run to. Look at the two oligarchs, Putin's, can't say close friends, but associates in the past, the bankers, Avin and Friedman. They are in London and they're in trouble, okay? They run away. I cannot say that they are both doing well. They're in trouble. So the elites have been in complete and total fear. Can they rebel in this current situation just because they don't want to live in fear any longer and they want that life, perfect life that they had before back? Can they make deals? Can they rebel? I doubt it. Can they try to make deals with each other? I think so. I think deals are being made all the time. And I'm pretty sure it's happening right now as I am speaking. And it's very hush-hush. We don't know about those deals. And the deals are made between the power groups, okay? Why? Because they're ready to betray at any second. They're waiting for the chance. In order to maintain the situation of fear, in order to maintain the situation of the elites won't be able, when the elites cannot rebel, Putin needs to continue to be strong. That's one condition. That's it. He needs to publicly prosecute some members of the elites here and there to maintain his status quo of the strong leader of the pack. He must remain in complete control. Now, let's take a look what happened not too long ago, in the beginning of summer, in May and in June. Look at my streams. I made streams particularly on this thing. I was shouting out loud that Putin back then was losing control. How? Well, starting early March, it appeared that he self-isolated himself. Nowhere to be seen or heard from. He communicated strictly through his translator from Russian to Russian press secretary Dmitry Peskov. It appeared that he was not in charge anymore. He was kind of losing the grip. And then things started happening. There was, remember, the feud between the Ministry of Defense and Wagner Group of Yevgeny Prigozhin. Remember, there was open feud. Prigozhin was openly cursing, insulting, humiliating the Minister of Defense of Russian Federation, the Chief of Staff, and Putin himself. Remember that? Putin was nowhere to be found. He didn't say anything. Remember first drone strikes on Moscow? What was Putin's reaction? Nothing. Like us, no big deal, He didn't say anything. Remember Belgorod, the raids into Belgorod and shelling of the city from Ukrainian side? What did Putin say? Did he say anything? Nothing. Again, nothing. And it was a pretty big deal. And when the leader of a pack doesn't say anything, and the situation kind of starts developing freely flowing, so to speak, you remember me. I was in my streams. I was shouting out loud. It's like, what was happening, because I was looking at that as a very strong and important indicator of Putin losing its grip. And what followed? Do you remember? What happened on June 24th? Yevgeny Prigozhin started a mutiny. He decided to disobey his boss. He decided to rise up. He decided to capture. He decided to kill. He decided to take over Moscow and dethrone Putin. Remember how it all started? He made a speech of Ministry of Defense. He was saying that the war of Ukraine was started just due to personal desire to enrich themselves by a few generals. Okay, it was absolutely not necessary, and there weren't any Nazis in Ukraine. Those all BS. What was coming from the government, and then what followed? Supposedly, his troops were shelled by Ministry of Defense, and he, advanced on Rostov-on-Don. He captured Rostov-on-Don, 1 million person city, in a swift move in a few hours, and everyone ran away. The army ran away. He captured southern HQ with top generals. He was looking for Shoigu and Gerasimov to kill them. He was openly searching, He was killing Russian armed forces personnel on the way. And Putin came out and he addressed the nation. And for the first time, I saw Putin, how do I say that? Small. Putin had made an address to the nation. He was alone. He was looking weak, ridiculous, humiliated, and trampled. Addressing the Russians, asking them to help him out, to bail him out. But no one was behind him. No elites were found. KGB, nowhere to be found. The army, ran away. The police force, don't even start there. Yevgeny Prigozhin moved freely from Rostov-on-Don to Moscow. That's around 1,000 kilometers, 800 to be precise, And he did not face any resistance anywhere from anyone, from police, from army, from the KGB, from the Siloviki. They just simply either would let him go or just run away. He did shoot a few airplanes. There were strikes from Russian Air Force, but that was it. He easily dealt with Russian helicopters in one plane. Then he stopped 200 miles, 200 kilometers from Moscow, and he made a deal with Vladimir Putin. After Vladimir Putin appeared weak, appeared trampled, appeared alone, appeared like he was not the leader anymore, Yevgeny Prigozhin made a deal with him. Again, the elites betrayed Putin. Some left Russia in the plane. You should have seen, I was doing the streams, I was telling you that the private planes were flying out left and right. Usually, when a private plane flies out of Moscow airport, pilot gives destination. For example, I'm flying to Istanbul, I'm flying to Helsinki, I'm flying to, but on the morning of 24th of June, they just took off without notifying where they were flying to, just to get out of Russian airspace. And as soon as they got out of Russian airspace, they set their destinations, because they were they were fleeing, basically. And the ones who didn't flee Moscow, they stayed, but they were quiet. They were silent. They were waiting to see who wins, Putin or Prigozhin, okay? That's betrayal, basically. And Prigozhin turned around. You all know the story. I still don't understand why. Why he did that? Because, he must have known that a punishment would come, and it did come 2 months later, and the punishment was death. But he did something very important by doing this mutiny. He set a precedent. A new mutiny can start at any time now. I think, and this is my personal opinion, is that it will not start out of the blue, but an event is needed. And an event can be anything major. For example, if Ukrainian counteroffensive is successful and Russian troops do the same thing as they did in Kharkov and Kherson, it's not the first time. They call it, I don't know how to call it right, but Russian armed forces calling it regrouping, okay? When the troops are running and you can see their, just backs, That's called regrouping. So if a major or sudden regrouping happens soon, then this could be an event. This could be a blow to Putin and an event where a new mutiny will be started. Or, for example, there's another private army and it gets strong enough and it feels like, hey, we're capable and the time has come. And there are some private armies remaining in Russia right now, you know. I mean, it's crazy. I don't understand why, but I made a stream called 8 Reasons Why Russia is Heading Towards Civil War. And this is the biggest reason, the private armies. Or, for example, mass street protests. That could spark a mutiny, a rebellion, a revolution. You will name it whatever you want. Or, for example, the army thinks they have enough. They've had enough. That also could become an event that would lead to big changes. Remember General Popov getting fired? And remember General Surovikin? I think he's still arrested. Okay, he was recently fired as, I think, dismissed from the armed forces, but he's nowhere to be seen. He's still, you know, does it tell you anything? Does it tell you that he was planning something, you know? Or let's say that something happens at the elections next March. Or, well, just lots of events. But I think an event like that could be a spark. And the spark is needed for a new mutiny. The president has already been set. So Putin's biggest problem right now, that he is in Zugzwang. Every move that he will make will land him into a worse situation than he is at now. So the risks of such an event appearing, they increase every single day. No matter what he does, the risks increase. And I'd also say, you know, the temperature in the room, the temperature in Russia is rising. Another Wagner, only without Wagner, of course. Wagner is toast. Real Wagner, original, genuine Wagner is toast. Prigozhin's dead and the Wagner is no more. So, but another Wagner will come sooner or later. And we will see what Putin will do then. Prigozhin is dead. Putin won this round tactically, but he lost strategically. He showed everybody that it's possible. You just need to go until the end. In the first 18 months, it was Putin who was keeping the elites in fear. And I think now the tide has changed, and it's the elites who start keeping Putin in fear. In the answer in the question I started with, you know, when the elites will make their move, when will they take revenge? When is the big question, you know? I would say this, time will come and we in Russia will see another Wagner moment sooner or later. Whether sooner or later, I don't know, but sooner or later. Folks, get your popcorn ready. And this has been my message for today. Thank you so very much. By the way, I still stand on my opinion that Putin's going to be out of the Kremlin by the end of the year. Not too much time left. Thank you very much for coming and giving me a chance, listening to me, watching me. It's my honor to have you here. Thank you so much. I invite everyone to carry on onto a live stream. I'm ready to answer questions, and I would love to get feedback from you. I'd love to hear what you think of my message. Let's do it. While I am turning the live stream chat on as usual, I would love to ask you to help me out a little bit. Please help me spread the message. by making reposts on your social media accounts. That helps a lot. Thank you so very much. Also, if you'd like to buy me coffee or support somehow, I wouldn't mind that. I like coffee. Thank you. It'd be nice, but not necessary. No worries. And the live stream chat is on. Let me just refresh the pages. And I need some water a little bit too. This is water today. Lorna, Mammy, and Harry, howdy, howdy. I also see Bob S. Folks, if you're here for the first time, please know that this channel has the best moderation in the world. Lorna, Mammy K, Bob S, Prince Amir Fazad, and Harry Potnan. Fantastic moderators and good friends. Thank you so very much. And the usual suspects, fantastic to see you. Thank you for giving me some time on your Sunday. I hope everyone is having a good Sunday. I hope all sponsors and patrons liked the stream that I had yesterday with my daughter Dasha. We had a good time. Very unusual, very refreshing stream. And I hope that you liked my message today. If you want me to notice your message easier, please put it in caps and put inside Russia after @ so I see it appear in large orange box, highlighted in orange. Thank you. Whoops, sorry. Yeah, highlighted just like Harry did, saying hello inside Russia. Hello, Harry. Sending love to Finland. Bob S. Howdy, howdy. Friends. Julie W. Looking for the ones in caps and highlighted. Xilosak. Good evening from Slovakia. Howdy, friend. Fantastic to see a Slovakian here. Bakerstock. Thank you so much. I take it you liked what I said today. Thank you. Interesting message today, says Janice Burgess. Thank you. And Dirk is saying that this is James Rhodes' birthday today. Well, this is quite a day. James Rhodes is one of those members of the community that everyone knows. And he is, how do I say that? He's just a fantastic guy. He's just one of the pillars of Inside Russia community. So it's just once a year, James's birthday comes up and it's time to sing. So James, I'm singing for you. I usually do it at the end of streams, but for you, right in the beginning. Despite my shame, I'm not a good singer, but I really would like to sing to you. And everyone, I'm warning you, please cover up your ears so you're not gonna hurt. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear James. Happy birthday to you. I wish you many happy returns of the day and fantastic next year. And in 12 months exactly, we will sing another song to you and we will wish you more good stuff. Have many happy returns of the day. Thank you. And Dirk, thank you so much for letting me know. Jason Carney is sending a huge super chat. Jason, I don't know what to say except for thank you and, very much appreciated. I really appreciate your support. It's much needed and very welcomed and it's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. White Lightning. is a sponsor of Deep Inside Russia. That's a higher tier. Thank you so much, friend. How much do the elites have to lose before they finally turn on Putin to revenge? The ruble is becoming worthless. Maybe if he's mobilized, the rich or women, it'll get them angry. Look, I don't think he'll ever mobilize the rich. The rich are the rich. They're a class of their own. The elites do not get mobilized. Their children do not go to Ukraine, do not go to the army. So they can be safe there. Women, I don't think he will mobilize women anytime soon. And if he does, the elite ones, the people from the elites, they could care less, you know. The Russian ruble is becoming worthless. Well, it's not becoming worthless, okay? It's losing value, that's true, but I am pretty sure that a lot of them have diversified their assets, their portfolios, and a lot of them keep their money in dollars, in euros, in yuans, you know, not in rubles, or perhaps in real estate, or abroad, you know, where no one has found them yet. How much do the elites have to lose before? Like I said, they're currently in Russia not losing much, but they are actually becoming richer, a lot of them, because the military-industrial complex is working overtime, and it's them, okay? It's not about who's gonna, like, how much they're gonna lose. I don't think it's about the money. It's about the control, and it's about the power. What's gonna happen is one of the events will be a spark, like Prigozhin was a spark. I think if Prigozhin stayed where he was, just stayed for some time, you know, elites, some of the members of the clans, power clans in Russia, they would start making deal with him. And then he would get reinforced by the support of some elite groups, and things would have come out differently. But he made a deal with Putin. So it's an event like this, an event of instability. When it comes, there will be elites like vultures waiting to pick Putin apart. Okay, this is going to be his closest friends. I have no doubt in my mind. Florian, Mr. Florian, Konstantin and team, you are doing a great job by providing your interesting content. Question: who do you think will be successor in case Putin falls out of the window? Not clear yet. I don't have an opinion on that. I've thought a lot. I think the successor is not defined yet. And I think that if there is a successor, it's going to be a person we don't know about, we haven't heard about. He's going to be a small potatoes. Right now he's a small potatoes. And then just like Putin was, they're going to make him a successor. So they're going to be pulling the strings. And I have not one single clue who that will be. One name, but that, again, this is just my total complete speculation. The governor of Tula province, his last name is Dumin, okay? Kind of rings a bell with me. But whether it happens or not, we will see. That's a very tough question, you know. Jason Carney, thank you so much for 5 sponsorships. Thank you so much. Samsa Solman, thank you. Putin has signed a new law to get rid of all time zones at Russia. This is due all the problems what? Signed a new law to get rid of all time zones in Russia? How is this possible? Moscow time will be in the Pacific, Russia's Pacific, where it's like a 9-hour flight next to Japan. I don't think it's possible. Where'd you get your information from? This is due all the problem that it causes, but not because Putin did send condolences of food before plane took off. Oh, that's a joke. I'm sorry. Okay. It's a good one. You got me there. MacFun from Switzerland. Howdy, friend. As long as the Russians can still go on holiday to the Crimea or Turkey or other countries, the decline will not matter. Like I said a few times before, I think that the win for Ukraine will come not from the front lines. It will come from within Russia. And I think that that win will come from within the clan struggle, the power struggle between the elites. I think Russian people will have nothing to do with that. I think that's going to be between the elites, Vladimir Putin, his friends, his associates, his partners, members of the vertical of power. But hey, time will tell. KG1, Ukrainian spy chief Bogdanov has trolled Russia by suggesting Vladimir Putin is dead, has been using doppelgangers in his place for the past year. I don't know what to say, KG1. Okay, point taken, thank you. Bakerstock, thank you so much. Jesteri, thank you. Always sending me good words. That's noted and appreciated. Thank you. You uplift me a lot. Sam K, howdy Constantine, and awesome dude. Good to see you. Thank you, Sam. You're a legend. Don't forget that. From your lips to God's ear. God's listening. Mr. John, howdy. Reinhard from Berlin, good Abend. And here is Crusader Damien, the bearer of the best questions of Inside Russia. Do you believe Putin's replacement will want to save and rebuild Russia and repair relationship with the West? Or will he want to go for broke? He will not want to go for broke. Again, another good question. I think this is the most possible scenario. Putin is out of the office one way or another, voted out, asked to leave by his friends. I don't know. But let's suppose he's out. And there's a successor. What would people on the top want? My bet is they would want to take their money and take them out of Russia to a safe harbor. They want to take their money from abroad that are frozen right now and, unfreeze them and use them. They would want to go and enjoy Europe. They would want their kids to be accepted to the schools again so they get education. They would want their homes to be returned to them in the United States, in France, in the UK. And I think they're going to be doing lots of blaming on Vladimir Putin, saying that's his fault. We didn't know. We'll do everything that it takes to make peace, to make amends, and so forth. And I think they'll do that. Because they don't want to be in Russia, because being in Russia, that is isolated. Not just from within Russia, but it's isolated from the outside by you, folks. You have isolated it, and you keep on pushing further and further. They don't like it. Because when they are in Russia, they cannot live there like a bunch of spiders in a jar. They eat each other, okay? They know that if someone is stronger than them, they're going to be done, okay? And they don't like that. When Russia is open, there are possibilities, opportunities, okay? When Russia is closed, it's fighting until there's one last big guy standing. That's all. No one needs that. William, atheist number one. Nice name. It's beginning to look like you are going to have a rat trapped in a corner. Will it go tactical? Your thoughts, please. No, it will not. It will not go tactical. Putin does not press a button and the rockets fly out. There is a certain number of people, I think 7 or 8 in a chain, and the commands will have to go through them. And those people are controlled, not by Putin, but by people in the vertical of power, by the army, perhaps by KGB, and so forth. So I don't think it'll get too tactical. No, it's just they don't need that. They don't want that. They want to keep on living. They want to keep on reaping benefits of being rich. Okay, they want their perfect life back. They don't want, nukes everywhere. That's the end for everyone. So that's why I think the nukes will not fly. Hey, atheist number one, William, I answered your question, and I thank you very much for the super chat, by the way. But I have a favor to ask. Will you please pray with us? Although you don't, if you're atheist and you don't pray, but please send good wishes to people along with me. Can you do that? Thank you. The only question I have is who else has a private army like Prigozhin had? Besides the guy in Chechnya, how can the elites outrun or outfund Putin? Outgun or outfund. You don't need to outgun the entire Russian armed forces. You just need 5,000 armed men and guts, and that's it. That's what Prigozhin had. He was saying he had 25,000. A lot of experts are saying that after counting how many people he had, from 5 to 7,000, and he almost seized power in Russia. Okay, there are private armies besides Wagner, and what's the craziest thing is they're being created. There are 2 private armies being created right now in Belgorod region. One was already created and armed, and another one, they call it People's Militia, but it's really a private army, armed. And another one is being created, and there's one in Rostov being created, by the way, by the local authorities. I think they have their own reasons for that. JM, perhaps I need to make a stream on new armies that are being created in Russia. It's good point, thank you. Michael Silberg, whomever is in power, it's possible that the only way to bring about Cartago delende Est is to remove nuclear weapons capability from Russia. That's step number 2. You see, right now, I don't see a way how to do that, but in my eyes, Russia has discredited itself a great deal. And I think that having nuclear power, or being a nuclear power, having nukes is a big responsibility, and you have to prove that you're responsible enough. And in my eyes, Russia hasn't. So I think it needs to be removed, okay? But that's going to be step number 2, not step number 1. I don't know how to remove it now. Nasietka, thank you so much for your support. No message, but message is strong enough. Thank you so much. And Mike Ryzhikov has gifted sponsorship of Inside Russia to 5 people. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Urban Mask, please check my other super chat question and enjoy the coffee. Thank you so much. Hang on. Checking. It took me long to answer one of the super chats and probably disappeared. Funky Fudge 11 inside Russia. Are you afraid of whether whatever comes after Putin will even be worse? There is a possibility. Am I afraid of it? I can't say. It's complicated. Urban Mosque. I cannot find your super chat. I'm very sorry. It's too far up in the stream. I really don't like how this thing is organized, because I cannot go all the way up. But if you please write me, if you could write me your question, I'll try to pick it up and answer. White Lightning, thank you. I don't know about pulling away Russia's nukes. We tried that in Ukraine and look what happened. China would obviously take over and would be to blame. Oi. It's a tough one. Yes and no. I'm not a big an expert on nukes, okay? That's I'm not a military guy. What you're saying makes sense. But to denucleify Russia is also makes sense, because as long as Russia doesn't do anything stupid, it must prove that it will not use nukes. But how? I don't know. It's a tough one. William, thank you so much. Of course, everyone is entitled to freedom of choice unless you live under the thumb of totalitarian despot. Amen. Amen to that. Thank you, friend. Thank you for your support, and thanks for, it's interesting. Stefan from Sweden, thank you so much. You are definitely been supporting it. Thank you so much. It's been appreciated and it's been noted and welcomed. Thank you, friend. Nasietka, I'm worried about your 2-day headaches. Do you think someone must be trying to poison you? I hope not. Don't make me paranoid, because I'm already paranoid enough. If they try to poison me, they would do it in one swift movement, boom, and that's it, I'm gone. Well, I've not taken the headaches lightly. It's not the first time I had them. I attribute it to stress of the past 18 months, but I'm doing a complete checkup. I'm doing the CAT scans and, the ultrasonars of blood vessels and everything. So we'll see what's up. George Condor, long-time listener, first-time caller. Thank you so much for listening, and thanks for being a part of the community, and thank you for the super chat from Canada. All the best from Vancouver. Heard it's one of the best looking cities in the world, Vancouver. That's what my friends told me. You're lucky to live there. A friend of my wife has from Rostov moved to Vancouver about 10 years ago. She's loving it. Okay, so Urban Mosque. Hang on. And I lost it. Come on. There you go. $10 super chat down the drain. Hey, please write me. It's not down the drain. I'm sorry. I didn't see it. Bobby, will you elaborate on the emotional temperature of average Russians? Emotional temperature. I made a stream about how Russians losing their empathy. That's emotional temperature for you. That's cold. I don't know what else can I make. Check out my stream on that. Frank, inside Russia, told you that Utkin went to Moscow and Prigozhin stayed in Rostov. How many private armies are left in Russia? No, Prigozhin was definitely in Rostov, in Tula, making a deal with Dumin, because Dumin was the negotiator for Putin. And there are video evidence that Prigozhin was there, so he was there. He was on the edge. How many private armies are left in Russia? They were around 29, I believe, at the height of Wagner craziness. How many now left? I don't know, but I plan on doing an update stream on that. So, is there a message from Urban Mask? Looking for one. My friend, your super chat is not down the drain. If you... Oh, great to see. CKOC. Howdy, howdy. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my gosh. John Steinbeck's journey through Russia in 1947. I've never heard of it. I love John Steinbeck. I love his works. Fantastic writer, you know. And I've never heard his journey through Russia in 47. I'll definitely read. Thank you for the heads up. Sow it and hope it grows. KG1, are there getting many recruits from Armenia, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan? As a recent report suggests, no, they're not from Uzbekistan. In Uzbekistan, the government is on top of people. Everywhere at the airports, people are reminded who leave the Uzbeks that it is illegal, according to the legislation of Uzbekistan, to take part in a war on someone's side for Uzbek citizens. They come back to Uzbekistan, they'll serve, I think, 10 years in prison for that. So Uzbeks are not participating, even if they have like double citizenship with Russia. As long as they stay Uzbek, no. I think same goes for Armenians and Kazakh. Definitely no Kazakh people fighting in the war. Armenians, it's a small country, you know. I don't think there will be many people, but I don't think they would be fighting either. Who do you think has the most power besides Putin, FSB, the oligarchs of the people and Putin's inner circle that will betray him, the military? Oligarchs do not have power. First of all, there's Patrushev. He's the head of Siloviki. Second is KGB, FSB. Third is the army. I think these are the three centers of power. Welcome to Inside Russia, Patrick. And folks, we're going to be wrapping up soon. Thank you, I'm kidding. I'm seeing your message from Urban Mask. What are you kidding? Just give me the question right now, please. So I still have time to answer it. Copy paste. It's not difficult. Blue lights out. New sponsor, Belarus Jack. Welcome to Undercover in Russia. That's the highest tier. Thank you so much, friend, for joining. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Still no message from Urban Mask. You are a mystery man today. I feel bad for missing the message. There you go. Is there a world where the elites let Putin live and stay in Russia, or does he have to leave or be... Of course, he's not gonna... They're not gonna let him live, stay in Russia peacefully. Oh, no. He's done. Like I said in the beginning of the stream, he's dead man walking. He made his decision. He made harakiri, the suicide, on February 24th, 2022. Now he goes all the way until the end, or he's toast. I mean, he's going to be toast at the end as well. So he can't leave. He has nowhere to leave, Anyway. I have a thought about tick bite. No ticks. No ticks. No ticks in Uzbekistan. No. I have not gone much out. I sit here mostly. And I would have known if I had a tick bite. So, thank goodness no. Folks, thank you so much. Thank you. Fantastic stream today. I hope I delivered my message. I hope you understood it. I think it's an important one. And new week tomorrow. I guess for most of you started, because Strange in America week starts with Sunday, and in the post-USSR the week starts with Monday, so it doesn't matter. It's going to be another message. I will try my best to make it interesting for you. Thank you so much for coming. Hell Porter, I read the book. I did not see the movie, and I don't want to see the movie. I read the book is the greatest, So, folks, thank you, and thank you so much. Please finish this live stream in prayer as usual. I'm asking everyone, including atheist number one. You don't have to call it a prayer. Just send good wishes, good energy to people. It would be absolutely fantastic. I would really like that. So thank you, the mods. Thank you again. Oh my gosh. I am so sorry. This is a Labor Day weekend. Tomorrow is a Labor Day. So, American friends, happy Labor Day weekend. I apologize. We don't have that here in Uzbekistan and Russia. So, happy Labor Day. And tomorrow is actually Labor Day, Monday. So, I'm not late. Thank you. I will see you tomorrow, and it's going to be your holiday and my holiday because it's your holiday. Thank you. Let's pray. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for everything that you've given to us. Thank you for food that you have put on the tables. Thank you for the roofs that you've given above our heads. Thank you for the loved ones that you've surrounded us with, people who love us and who we love. Please give our wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads peaceful. Give us wisdom to raise our children the way that they become good people when they grow up, and they will make this place a better world and will never engage in any wars. Meanwhile, for now, please keep our children safe and healthy. Dear Lord, please stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. The country has suffered for nothing for a long time. People have gone through tragedy, and the country has gone through tragedy. Please stop the bloodshed. Help in the way that you know how to help. feel the hearts of those who are responsible and capable of making decision to stop the bloodshed with love, mercy, empathy, forgiveness. Make their hearts softer so they will wake up from whatever lethargic sleep they're sleeping, and they will make the decision to stop the bloodshed. Please help every Ukrainian who has been affected, answer their prayers, and make their wishes come true. Send them angels to protect people from harm's way. Dear Lord, please help my country, Russia. Assemble your army of the strongest angels with sharpest swords, led by Saint Michael, and send it like an heavenly avalanche onto the earth to get rid of the demons that have hijacked my country. Make angels run Russia, make it peaceful, loved, respectful, and respected. Dear Lord, please send everyone who is traveling safe travels. Please help everyone who is seeking asylum, especially families. Help single mothers all over the world who are raising children, struggling, making ends meet. Send help their way. Help everyone who is hurting, no matter what language they speak or where they live, because emotions of people are the same, universal throughout the world. Please help the hungry, the sick, the homeless, the jobless, the depressed, the ones who are struggling with their faith, the ones who are asking for your help, the ones who are addicted. Shine your heavenly light upon them and surround them with your love. Make them feel warmer, make them feel better about themselves, so they feel better and they get up on their feet and they will have a chance at better, happy life. Thank you so much for bringing us here into this community, and thank you for allowing us to pray. Please help everyone who is praying along with me or just watching us praying. Answer everyone's prayer and make everyone's wish come true, please. Dear Lord, I have a few people that need your help, and I'm asking for them. They are Jason Connor, who is going for surgery and needs your help. Janice Stevenson, Jay Spike, little girl Sarah, who's fighting for her life. She needs recovery. Please send her angels, send her recovery, and answer the prayers of her parents. Send them strength, and please have them see their goal healthy and back home. Please help Frank in Texas. James Gentz, Hannah, Julia Haney, Vasilin Lubomirov, Heather, Gloria Roberts and her brother, Ann Larson, her family and daughter Hannah, Liz Dumbrell and her family, Darla, Bip, White Lightning, George Rugerty, Dave Strains, Pam, Yelena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, Galina, Svetlana, Michael Milkovitz, Paul Bins, Richard Burris, Angelic at Life, and Randolph, Rafaela From, Allison Dave Moyers, Maureen M., Mr. Dean Spooner and his church called Our Savior Lutheran Church. Lisa Kumrian, MS Paramedic Liz, Karen from Maine, Lori Miles' husband, Jen Allen, Stefan from Sweden, Sam, David Porter, his family, and everyone who is from Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Lars, Susan Marshall, Teresa D., Terry Carter, Joe Lee McMahon, Meta Spencer, Pamela J., Joel, Leif, and Michael Yukon. Dear Lord, thank you so very much, and please help all the children from Ukraine who have been suffering due to this terrible tragedy. Please send them your help, and send help to all children who are not feeling well. Send them recovery. Thank you, dear Lord. Jesus Christ. Amen. My friends, thank you so much. Thank you. My honor to have you here. I really appreciate you coming. Every time I don't stream, and I didn't day before yesterday and day before yesterday, I miss streaming. Yesterday was fun with Dasha. We streamed. We were here conversing with the patrons and sponsors, so it was great. And tomorrow again there will be a good message. I hope it'll be interesting and informative. So please come back tomorrow and give me another chance. Thank you so very much. You're awesome and you rock. And before I leave, as usual, I'd like to help me out a little bit. Along with me, please say it out loud as you can. The following: Carthago delenda est.